So for instance, if I want to measure for what block work on grid line AA, and I want to know the area, first I consider, okay, how high is the block work going? If it's after the oversight concrete, or let's say within the foundation footing, I want to get to what? The foundation footing level before the oversight concrete comes on it. So if I have a section over here like this, so a section is showing over here like this. I have my hardcore over here. I have, this is the screed, this is the concrete over here. So my ground level is around this area. That's the ground level. So from here to the top of the concrete, let's assume I have what, 0.6 meters. Then from the foundation concrete over here, I have 0.3 meters. Then I have my blinding too as well. So let's say my greetings to you again. This is Collins Tonibuakodia from OBI TTC. Yes, we come your way again with a new episode on our quantity surveying, or who a quantity surveyor is. Yes, so I'll do a little recap based on last week's episode, then we continue with a new episode. But please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And if you have any comment on our last week episode, please don't forget to also drop it in our comment section so that we can attend to it and give you answers to your comments. Yes, so let's start with last week's episode. Let's do a little recap on it, then we continue with today's episode. Yes, so for last week, we look at who a quantity surveyor is. And we got to know that a quantity surveyor is what? A professional body, a professional person who would manage and administrate construction projects for a successful finish. Yes, so that is what, in simple terms, we can define or explain who a quantity surveyor is. We look at some of the responsibilities of a quantity surveyor in the construction firm, on the side of the contractor, and also at the side of of the consultancy team. And we go to know that the quantity surveyor will prepare an estimate budget for a client to know a fair idea about how much a project will cost for it to be executed. And we got to know that with a quantity surveyor in a construction firm or working for a contractor, it's also a pillar or a backbone of the contractor to execute projects without losses. That means guiding the contractor in terms of preparing a budget suited to the proposed project to be executed, and for it to be carried successfully with the contractor having its profits and also the project going on successfully. We also got to know some pre-contract activities and post-contract activities. Yes, we did a lot, but I can't mention all, so I just picked some few items and I'll elaborate on it, then we continue with a new episode. So we got to know some pre-contract activities and post-contract activities. We got to know that with pre-contract activity, that is activities that takes place before the main contract begins or the project is being given to a contractor. And we got to know that with post-contract activities, those are activities that take place after the contract has been awarded to a contractor to execute. So what are some of the pre-contract activities? Preparation of tender documents, evaluation of contractors after they have presented their budgets, and also preliminary drawing estimation or preliminary drawing execution. That is the architect preparing a drawing for the contractor quantity surveyor to pick it, and also prepare a BOQ to submit for the work to be given to them. So these are a few activities. There are more to them, but I can't mention what I said. With our new episode that will come our way, I'll elaborate more on it and put more points into that. Yes, so these are some of the activities that take place under pre-contract processes or pre-contract activities. Now, when we go to post-contract, after the contract has been awarded to the contractor needs to execute the job. So some of the responsibilities of the quantity surveyor in the post-contract activities is to prepare what we call preliminary estimate, or let's say material schedule, prepare labor schedule, or prepare operational bill as in a whole. So the quantity surveyor will prepare a operational bill. The operational bill consists of what we call the material schedule, that is to know the total quantity of material needed relating to the costs. It's prepare a labor schedule that will know the gang that is going to be used to execute the work in terms of each trade element or each trade section to the end of the work, and know the total cost of labor. Also to know the plant and equipment that's going to be used. whether some are going to be bought or some are going to be hired by the contractor to do the work. So the QS responsibility to do all those analysis to know which one to go for, whether the materials are going to, the equipment are need to be bought or are need to be hired for the project, depending on what the duration and the capacity of the project and the total cost or sum of the project. So these are some of the things that we learned in last week's episode. We come your way again with this new episode, and we are still continuing with a quantity surveyor, who a quantity surveyor. So if you look here, we have some points that are listed over here. We have some importance of a quantity surveyor, some duties of a quantity surveyor on a construction project or in the construction industry as we find ourselves. We have what we call the standard method of measurement. Yes, that's what we said it's a construction Bible for the quantity surveyors. It's a guide for them to check on in order to price for work or in order to measure work item. Either it's based on linear, whether it's based on superficial, it's based on volumetric, itemized, enumerated, provisional, or prime costs. Then we also have the measurement of building works. Before any budget will be prepared, a quantity surveyor needs to pick measurement either from the drawing or from the site, or any specification that is given to the quantity surveyor to prepare a fair budget for the project. They also look at the unit for measurement of building works. So these are some of the points that I'm going to talk about. Then we go to know the understanding about each point, so that in case when we find ourselves anywhere, we'll be able to understand whatever we hear. So when we are going to look at the importance of a quantity surveyor, we know who a quantity surveyor is: a professional person that manage and administer, or let's say administrate a construction project to a successful finish. What are their importance in the construction industry? That is what we know. We have to know about it. So a quantity surveyor is there to give a fair budget for the understanding of the client or the client consultant and the contractor too as well. Why do I say this? If I am a quantity surveyor and I work in a consultancy firm, and the architect prepare or brings out the proposed drawing for the project. Now, as the quantity surveyor, I have to sit down with the rest of the team. We have the mechanical engineer, the electrical engineer, we have the plumber, we have other teams ahead. So we have to sit down together, put our minds together on how the project is going to be executed, how they want and everything. And the quantity surveyor will sit down and prepare an estimate or a budget or a BOQ to suit the proposed project. So at the end of it, they will tell the clients that, okay, after we sat down and we did that analysis based on the budget that we needed for the work, this is the amount of money that we had. Then we open doors for contractors to also tender for the project. So the contractors also have individual QSs or quantity surveyors. So the quantity surveyors will pick up the drawing or the tender document. Then they'll also go and price for the work. After price for the work, they will send their document for valuation. So the BOQ that is being prepared by the client consultant will be checked across with the one that is prepared by the contractor's quantity surveyor. Then they'll get to know that, okay, this is the quantity surveyor who was able to price well. That is the minimum evaluated bidder. We select the contractor and give the work to. So you realize that the quantity surveyor has an importance in the aspect of the contractor and has an importance in the aspect of the consultant too as well. So these are some of then the quantity surveyor will also guide the consultants in terms of payment. So what we call something mobilization. After a work is being given to a contractor, we need to mobilize. So mobilization can take place in so many stages. We can have first stage, second stage, third stage, and fourth stage. That is mobilization. So that means the payment will be divided into 4 terms. So, and a percentage of work can be stated ahead that, okay, after the first mobilization, the contractor is supposed to execute this percentage of work, maybe 25%, if the project is being shared into in 4 stages. So a sum is given to the contractor to execute the project to up to 25% of the project, the total project. And the budget given to the contractor is to execute that. So the contractor's quantity surveyor will have to prepare a schedule based on the material that will be needed to cater for that 25% of work, based on the labor that will be needed, the plant and equipment, aside with the profits and overheads, so that they can base on that analysis in order to execute the work. Then after that, when the contractor do evaluation for payment for the next mobilization, the consultant quantity surveyor is also there purposely to check across whether the contractor has executed the work according to the plan. according to the percentage of work that is supposed to be carried out. So these are some of the importance of what a quantity surveyor in the industry. They make the work comfortable in terms of budget planning, in terms of cash flow analysis and other things. And they also prevent dispute that arises between contractors and clients, or contractors and consultants. Yes, because a lot of things that happen in our industry. Sometimes the executive will say that, oh, you are supposed to do this and you didn't do it, and you say that your money is not this. So the quantity surveyor is there to resolve all these resolutions over there. Are you getting me? Yes. So we continue with what? Duties of what? Of a quantity surveyor. What are some of their duties in the construction industry, whether at the consultancy side or at the construction side for a contractor? Just as they are playing their importance, it's the same duties that they play over there. They do day-in-day guide in terms of budget estimation to protect the company's reputation in terms of costs, and to also protect the consultant's reputation in terms of cost in managing the client's projects. So the quantity surveyor will be able to prepare a fair idea, prepare a fair budget relating to the project that needs to be executed in the side of the contractor when they are tendering for a project. Prepare a provisional bill that the contractor and the engineering team will use in executing the work, and make sure that they execute the work with the maximum profit they want to attain. At the same time, too, at the consultancy side, the quantity surveyor will do to protect the client or the client consultant. That with reinforcement, you can either measure it in kilogram or in tons. So when you look at some bills, you realize that the standard method of measurement, they are using kilogram, some are also using in tons. And relate to that, you can know the appropriate rates that will be given to it. Example like formwork for columns, formwork for beams, formwork for foundation trenches, formwork for slabs, and all those kind of things. Standard method of measurement makes us understand that the formwork for all this work is supposed to be measured in in superficial. Yes, so these are guide that is given to us, enable us to know the unit of measurement to give into any trade section of the work. Now let's go on to building measurement. Talk about building measurement. What do we understand about that? When we talk about building measurement, we are relatively talking about way of collecting data or measurement from a building drawing or a specification or a preliminary drawing that is done by an architect. in order to build up what? The unit of what? Of measurement, or let's say the area or the volume of each web trade section, in order to rate it or to give a rate to bid for it what? For a budget to be prepared or a BOQ to be prepared, that is the bill of quantity, or an estimate to be prepared. So for instance, if we have a particular building, let's say I have this preliminary sketch. This is just an example sketch that I'm going to use for example. I have this as, let's say, just a bedroom with one room over here. So these are my grid lines. So I have grid line AA, I have grid line BB, I have grid line JJ, I have grid line, let's say XX. Okay, so these are my columns. That's a column base. That's a column base. Then I have my columns within. I have my columns within. So this is just a simple sketch we have over here. So if I have this, and I have from the grid line to grid line, I have here as 3.00 meters. Let's say I have here as 5.00 meters. Yes, this is some measurement that I placed on it. So let's say with the column base, I have here as 0.9 meters. I have here 0.9 meters. That's equal around the entire plan over here. So for instance, if I want to measure for what? Block work on grid line AA, and I want to know the area, first I consider, okay, how high is the block work going? If it's after the oversight concrete, or let's say within the foundation footing, I want to get to what? The foundation footing level before the oversight concrete comes on it. So if I have a section over here like this, so a section is showing over here like this. I have my hardcore over here. I have, this is the screed, this is the concrete over here. So my ground level is around this area. That's the ground level. So from here to the top of the concrete, let's assume I have what? 0.6 meters. Then from the foundation concrete over here, I have 0.3 meters. Then I have my blinding too as well. So let's say my blinding, I have 0.05 meters over here. Yeah, so this is a simple section that I cut within what? Within the plan over here. So I have this. Now I'm to do excavation. So if I'm to do excavation, it means that I have to excavate for the trenches. So excavating for the trenches, for instance, if I pick from the grid line to grid line over here, I have the length, which is what? 3.00. So I have two sides over here, so it's just by 2 over here. Now you realize that part of it is entering the column base over here, and we need not to calculate for the part that is entering for the column base. If not, after that we are calculating for the excavation for the column base, it will be calculated twice, which will bring what? Excesses, or the excavation will be more and it will go against you. So we need to come to the outside of the column base and get to what? The end to end of what? Of the trench. So here, if I have 0.9 meters over here, I have 0.9 meters square over here. It means that I have taken half of it, which is going to be what? 0.45. So it means that I need to less 0.45 here, 0.45 here. So we said less what? 2 of half of what? Of 0.45, which will give us what? 0.9 over here. So when we less it from the 3 meters, what we'll get will be the actual length of what? Of what? Of the trench. So after getting this, then we need to know the width of what? Of the foundation. So assume that the width is equal to what? 0.5 meters over here. So now we know what the width is, what? 0.5 meters over here. Then now we look at what the depth of excavation. So realize that with the section, this is where the ground floor, the ground level started. This is my earth. Yes. So from here, the depth I have from here to the top of the concrete, which is 0.6. Then I have the thickness of the concrete in foundation, which is what? 0.3. Then I also have the blinding, which is what? 0.05 over here. So I need to add up the entire. So I have 0.6, I have 0.3, then I have 0.05 over here. So I need to add up all these things, which will give me what? 0.95. So in order to get the volume, I have the length, which is after doing all these deductions. So we have this 0.9, this 0.05. So that is 3 meters from it. So when we less 0.95 from this, that means we are getting 2.05 over there. So I have 2.05 as the length. I have the width of the foundation, which is 0.5 over here. Then I have the depth of foundation, which is what? 0.95 over here. So with this, it will give me what? The total volume of what? Of excavation. So if I multiply this by this and this, then it will give me the total volume of excavation. Though SMS 7 will say that in measuring for excavation for trenches, it's measured in volumetrics. So if I'm able to discover this and get what the volume of excavation, it tells me that okay, the excavation that will be done on what? Grade line AA for the trench alone will be what? The multiplication of these 3 items. That will give me the entire what? Volume of excavation. The same thing that goes on when I want to calculate for block work 2 as well. So I take it from column to column. So I have the grade line starting from the center to center, which is 3 meters. So the column over here. So assuming the column is 150 square over here, it means that half of it needs to go, half of it needs to go. Yeah, so half of 150, half of 150 needs to go on. Then it will be what? 300. That is 0.3. So 0.3 from what? The 3 meters. Then that means we have what? 2.7 over there. So the 2.7 and an assumed height of the block work, which is what? 2.7 meters. So it means that if I have 2.7 as the length and 2.7 as the height, then getting 2.7 and 2.7 will give me what? Multiplying this will give me the area for what? For the block work that it needs to be done. So these are some basic method of what? The measurement that are being done in what? In construction work. So when we do this in the BOQ, after the abstraction, we put this in the BOQ and we know that okay, for the block work that needs to be done on grid line AA, we need an area of what? 2.7 by 2.7. Yes, then we'll get a final area, then we put it in it and do the price analysis also for that, in which our episode next to become, we do some price analysis estimation, then we go to know how to price for basic unit rates, either in linear, whether in superficial or in volumetric. We'll get to know all those kind of things. So these are some of the basic measurements that are being done in measurement of building works when it comes to what? Construction as a whole. Now, we look at unit of item. You also have to know that, okay, this work element in area, in linear, or in superficial. So unit of item in quantities or building quantities, we have what we call the linear method. We have superficial. We have volumetric. We have numerated. We have itemized. We have the provisional. We have the prime cost. So linear item, when we talk about linear item, we are talking about what? Item that can be measured in meters. Yes, I won't take much of your time. I'll end today's section over here. We have a lot to learn again. We have the superficial and the volumetric, numerated, itemized, provisional, and prime cost. So in our next episode, we'll go into it and learn more about it. Please don't forget to put your comments in the comment section. Anything that you want to know, any idea you want to have about it, don't forget to share it over there so that I can attend to it and give you feedback on it. Hoping to see you in our next episode. Enjoy your day. Bye.